guys, I'm Jasmine. Thanks so much for stopping in. Welcome to my channel. This is my Shih Tzu, Teddy. I really felt called to make a Bible study series called The Waiting Room. If you're like me, you too are in a season of wait, so you're not alone already. I've been in my season for about 6 years, and if you can relate, it's been challenging, it's been frustrating, it's been confusing. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening either. And oftentimes I found myself pleading to God, questioning God, crying to anyone, just to get out of this situation. How can I fix it? What can I do? And all the while, I feel like it's been a learning process. I'm still learning. Hopefully we can learn together how we need to trust God even when things aren't even moving for us, even when we feel like our prayers are left unanswered. So in this Bible study series, I just wanted to get my eyes and hopefully help you get your eyes off of the circumstance and onto God. So if you want to dive in, Teddy, you ready? I think he's ready too. Let's jump into Genesis chapter 37, where we will meet a man named Joseph. So let's dive in. Now Joseph was the firstborn son Jacob had with Rachel, and you could read about that in Genesis 30. One thing to note about Rachel, she grew to envy her sister Leah because Rachel was unable to bear any children for Jacob. Unlike Leah, and in verse 22 we read, "And God remembered Rachel, and thus came Joseph." So already his story begins with God showing how he delivers on his promises. But let's go back to Genesis 37. We see Joseph is 17 years old and loved more than Jacob's other children, and it was shown by his coat of many colors. And his brothers hated him for that. Joseph has 2 dreams. The first one he shares with his brothers, that they're all sheaves of wheat that bow to Joseph's. The second he reveals again to his brothers, that the sun, moon, representing his mother and father, and 11 stars, his brothers, bowed to him. His father rebuked him for this dream, but observed it, and his brothers envied him all the more. Fast forward, his brothers conspired against Joseph to kill him, but the oldest brother, Reuben, convinced them not to shed any blood. So they stripped him, threw him in a pit, and soon sold him into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. And then he was brought into Egypt. All right, now let's skip to chapter 39 and see if we can find God's presence in the midst of Joseph's dire circumstance. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass, from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well-favored. All right, let's stop right there real quick. Now, who is Potiphar? Well, he's said to be an important official in Pharaoh's court. So that's who Joseph was in the hands of while he was a slave. But we're learning that Joseph was no ordinary slave. Why is that? Well, we see it right off the bat in verse 2.
And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. Throughout these verses, it's repeated. His master saw the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And again, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Now, just because this was written down as part of Joseph's story, can we say the same for us? Stay with me, and let's go to Psalm 23, verse 4. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. A couple notes I had written in my Bible. We're walking through the valley. We're not here to stay. And shadows, they have no substance. And even if there's a shadow, there has to be a light. I had also made a note that a rod symbolizes authority, a staff, a guide. Let's skip over to John 14. It's Jesus speaking. Starting at verse 26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
Let's not forget who is on our side here. The victor, the King of Kings, the creator of the universe, the I Am. The authority, the control is his. It's not ours. It's not ours to lose. It's his. He's on our side too. And so having that comfort, even though I know it's hard, especially when things are not changing, but having that comfort where we can trust and know, by knowing who God is, that he's going to work things out for our good. Things are going to go according to his perfect timing, to his will. And if you're like me, I've struggled with letting go of that control, and I still struggle because it's always trying to figure out, okay, I'm in a tough situation. How do I get myself out? What can I do? And a lot of the times there's nothing I can do. It's on God. It's his will. It's what he wants to do. But isn't it wonderful to know? I mean, sometimes when I'm taking Teddy to go out at night and I'm looking up at all the stars, and I live, in suburbia, so there's not too many stars, but when there's stars out, it's just a realization of he owns all those stars. He owns every blade of grass on the ground that I'm standing on. He owns everything. So why wouldn't I feel comfort in knowing that he owns my situation? He owns control over that situation. He has authority over this situation. Keep talking to God. Give him your anxieties. Give him your frustrations. And it will help you trust in him, help you know him. One more verse I wanted to leave you with, a set of verses. It's Psalm 24, if you wanted to jump in.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place?
So definitely finish out that psalm. Take your time with it. There's no rush. But I hope for you, in the meantime of you reading it, that you're talking to God about it, you're praying, and you're just spending time with him. And I just hope that it just settles in your heart with seeing a little more clearly of where God is and who he is in relation to your circumstance and whatever's going on in the world right now, because I know it's a lot. Friend, the more time we spend with him, the more we'll start trusting him, the more we'll start choosing him in our day-to-day. And we're getting our eyes off of our circumstance and onto him. And like Jesus said, he brings peace. He brings not what the world can bring, but what he can bring is just so much more. I know it's easier, to just hear someone on the internet say all these things and then just shut your computer and just keep going on and on about your day. I get it. Especially with sitting with unanswered prayer requests and, not seeing breakthroughs come through and, those dashed expectations. I get it. But I'm just really urging you that it really is a discipline to choose God, especially when we're going through something like what we're going through, sitting in the waiting room and how we're spending our time in the waiting room. And for me, a lot of times it was just easier to just scroll through and watch videos, and that was my day because it would take my mind off of whatever I'm going through. I'd binge watch movies or I'd binge watch, TV shows, I'd go shopping, I'd do whatever it takes to just get my mind off of what I'm going through and just numb it all. But the more I started to kind of break the ice with spending time with God, the more I felt more equipped, and I'm learning too, but I felt more equipped with how to cope with the not yet, how to cope with waiting, how to cope with trusting him. And it's a discipline. Again, it's a discipline to say, which would I rather do? This easy way, the wide path, or the straight and narrow path? But I just encourage you to just keep pushing, keep getting your eyes off of the circumstance, keep choosing him over numbing.
And I just wanted to show you 2 Bible study devotionals that have really helped me get into the Word and be consistent every day. They're like a workbook study, and that's for me how I just love to get into the Word. I love to learn in this type of format. Comes with a couple questions, but they're specific to what you've read and just the language that has been used. It's really, really good. 30 Days with Jesus was something I used last year, and that helped me really break the ice with God and just reignite that fire. So really recommend these 2 Bible studies if you guys wanted to check them out.
But again, hopefully this YouTube channel could be a resource for you as well. Let me know if you had any revelations from what we read today. And if you have any prayer requests, feel comfortable to just drop them in the comments as well. If you just want to just pray for me, I will just pray for you and just keep that, private. And hopefully you can pray for me too. And I'll see you in the next episode where we will dive into the next part of Joseph's story. So I'll see you next time. And Teddy is asleep. So I'll see you next time.